The wind moaned outside, rattling the loose shutters that covered my bedroom window. Inside, my blanket smelled strongly of smoke, a scent I recognized despite never having smoked. I'm not one of those people who sneaks a cigarette on a bad day or keeps an ashtray hidden in a drawer, but every morning my comforter reeked of smoke. For weeks, I'd been living in a one-bedroom apartment above a garage. I liked it despite the chipped paint and threadbare carpet. It was cheap, which was all I could afford on my bookstore clerk's salary. And the landlady, Mrs. Kessler, was easy to get along with, always ready with a smile and a gossip tidbit. The smell started subtly like a whisper you're not sure you heard. I'd wake up each morning, groggy and half aware, and there it was, a faint whiff of smoke clinging to my blanket. Not the clean, woody scent of a campfire, but something acrid, chemical, like burnt plastic or charred wiring. I'd pull the blanket to my nose, frowning, and inhale deeply, trying to place it. It was unmistakable, but by the time I was fully awake, the smell would fade, leaving me doubting whether it was ever there at all. One day, I noticed the smell lingered longer. By lunchtime, it filled my bedroom, sharp and cloying like chlorine bleach. Panic rising, I raced to the bathroom, splashed water on my face, and held my breath, trying to scrub the smell from my nostrils. It was no use. Desperate, I dialed my mother's number, explaining my predicament. She didn't believe me, laughing and hanging up on my frantic assurances. To make sense of the smell, I started keeping a journal, noting the time I woke up, the intensity of the smell, anything unusual in the apartment. Then it happened again, filling my entire room by noon. I rushed to the window and gasped. The stench wasn't coming from within. As far as I knew, my building was non-smoking. I questioned my neighbor on one side, Mr. Larson, a chain smoker, but his apartment was down the hall and the smell wasn't cigarette smoke anyway. The other side was Mrs. Delgado, an elderly woman who spent her days knitting and watching soap operas. No smokers there either. The garbage disposal was downstairs. I peered inside, grimacing at the rotting refuse. But something about the odor didn't match. It smelled like smoke, like burnt metal. Confused, I turned to Mrs. Kessler, my landlady. She was a hawk about the rules, sniffing the air like a bloodhound every time she stopped by to fix a leak or collect the rent. Surely she'd noticed something. Mrs. Kessler inspected the garbage disposal, shaking her head. "Nope, that ain't it. Been here 20 years. Smells like garbage half the time," she said with a shrug. I pressed her for more, but she brushed me off, muttering about maintenance costs. Later, I pored over maps, tracing the garbage disposal's route. Sure enough, a factory outlet spewed foul fumes nearby. Still, it didn't explain why the smell seemed to originate from my blanket. Then I remembered Mrs. Castillo saying the building was older than she thought, built in 1947, a time when building codes were looser and fires more common. I searched online records, hoping to find reports of a fire, but nothing turned up. Frustrated, I returned home, deciding to overhaul my apartment. I ripped up the threadbare carpeting, revealing hardwood floors beneath.